Yeah. What's up, everyone? Um, we had to start with a musical intro today. And if we put about 5 seconds of our favorite song, and if we get taken down for that, here's the actual intro, and we'll cut that part out, so we don't get sued by the Masked Wolf. Um,
Oh, mess.
yeah, yeah.
Sound like a 1900s, like 1800s, like serial killer in London.
Like the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, don't go out, Winifred. The masked wolf is afoot. It's like a guy with like a top hat and like a wolf mask,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
another Phantom of the Opera mask on top of his wolf mask.
Yeah. It's like a wolf mask, but it's kind of like he makes it his own.
Yeah, it's like a wolf at the opera mask. Like he's got the opera, like the binoculars.
Yep, yep, yep. I like it. The masked wolf is afoot, and so is our 22nd episode. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, episode. I missed the making the 21 joke last week,
It's
but
actually more like 3,600 seconds, give or take.
okay. Yeah, I missed making the 21 joke last week, so I apologize to everyone. That was destroying. I was absolutely destroyed in the comments for not making that joke. Did you see that?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, it was kind of
Like,
sad.
you're torn apart. Our subreddit is in flames. We canceled. We're on the front page of Twitter. We're trending.
Yeah.
I woke up. I was like, "Why is Declan trending on Twitter?" And then I
Right, right.
thing like, "Oh no, what did you do?"
It's not every day that I'm trending on Twitter. How do you think like once you have your own subreddit, you're like you've made it?
I think that's when you know you've made it. Yeah, it's when you have a subreddit dedicated to you, or just something you're a part of. I
I want to
guess.
see if James Corden has a subreddit.
Coordinates.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the James Corden fan club.
I think it's just
I want to
one.
see what their discussions
One.
are.
It's James Corden's like son. I
Uh-huh.
don't really know his family.
I'm not seeing. Let's see. James Corden.
Maybe he goes by Jim with like friends.
There are 148 members of the James Corden subreddit.
140 members.
Yeah, so they're going strong. Our subreddit is going just as strong. And Evan, do you know what else is going just as strong that
What's going on?
we'll start off our today's episode with?
Oh, I think I know.
Oh yeah?
Getting back to our roots, right?
Yes, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Back in our prime era.
We started this show when the Marvel Disney Plus series started, and we continued with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier after WandaVision ended. And now, I mean, I feel like we have a purpose again. Now that Loki is starting. I think there's 6 episodes of this one, if I'm right. So we've got 5 more weeks of it, and then it'll be a painful time waiting. I mean, we'll probably talk about Black Widow and all the all 27 trailers that'll be compiled into one when that movie comes out. But Loki is on Disney Plus episode 1. This is big for us.
Yes. Loki, we will both watched episode one.
Yep.
And I will I guess we can get into opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Wherever you if you want to start at the start of the episode, I don't care. Just say how you generally thought about it if you want.
It's probably the best of the three, though maybe that might not be a wide margin because if you've been watching, I wasn't really too big a fan of WandaVision, and I quite wasn't a big fan of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And I will say, while this one does also suffer from a really wet narrative bloat, especially near the end, I thought that this one, probably because of Tom Hiddleston, I think Tom Hiddleston is a pretty charming actor and his
Yeah.
performances in movies are very good. I think this one has enough charm and enough like fresh humor that it doesn't collapse. It has enough to make up for a lot of its narrative shortcomings.
Gotcha. I just want to ask you, how do you feel about the fact that this show is actually happening? Because we know Marvel doesn't care about, rules of plot and all that. It's superhero. But I mean, if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, or it was Infinity War actually, Loki died. Loki died in the first 5 minutes of Avengers Infinity War. And then in Avengers Endgame, there was a moment where when they travel back in time to 2012, when the first Avengers movie happens, Loki steals the Tesseract, and this isn't the Loki that died. This is, if you watch the show, and we'll get into spoilers for the show. So if you haven't watched it and you're listening, just skip past this part. But yeah, Loki's dead, and this is a variant of Loki. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I think I like how this like Marvel just kind of is jumping into like crazy, silly, dumb sci-fi stuff,
Yeah.
which fine. I will always prefer if I get the choice, I will prefer for it to go in completely stupid, silly way
Hmm.
versus trying to get the science and failing. Sometimes when they are going after like actual scientific accuracy, it works. It worked for Kubrick, it worked for Nolan, I think. But in this universe, I'm glad they're kind of going into this. I don't know if this happened in the comics. I really can't tell you, but this seems genuinely like dumb in a way that's never been in the MCU before, which I appreciate. I also liked the first part when he's on trial, all the scenes in the office. It reminded me kind of like Brazil. It's a movie by Terry Gilliam. It's very good. It reminded me, I guess, just because like anything with a big expansive office and difficult bureaucracy and stuff like that, it felt very Terry Gilliam inspired
Hmm.
of the visuals of it all. But
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty charming.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree with the fact that you said like Marvel getting silly and all that. They kind of did it with WandaVision for a little bit, but then
Yeah, but then they like reversed it. They were like,
it
"Nah."
became big laser battle in the sky, and it was kind of a disappointing finale if you ask me. Um I think my what I hate about superhero movies is when they take themselves too seriously. Like, let's talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I liked that movie, but it's very clear that like he takes it very seriously. There wasn't a lot of humor in it. And that doesn't make it a bad movie, but like that's I think superhero movies when they're more fun and like Guardians of the Galaxy and how the Suicide Squad, the new James Gunn one's probably gonna be, and um, Spider-Man's always been like that. I like I like the kind of crazy, let's not take this too seriously. They're made up characters with made up powers. And I really, really like when this was first announced, this show, and they announced Owen Wilson was gonna be in it. I was like, let's go. Like this is gonna be awesome.
Owen Wilson is probably my favorite part.
Yeah. Yeah. I never thought he would be in anything Marvel. I think it's so great.
But it works. See, it works here, I think. It
It
works in that
does.
they're not like I'm glad this show's kind of relaxed. How I didn't like how much it used like flashbacks and clips from other movies. I thought those were kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
It felt a bit more like there are times where it kind of felt like I was watching like Mystery Science Theater where like they'll do a scene and then they'll be like, oh, that was a neat scene. Which I remember my least favorite episode of WandaVision was entirely like that, where
Yep.
there's just a bunch of flashbacks
Flashback.
and
Hmm.
they're like, hey, wasn't that quirky? On to the
Hmm.
next one. And there was a lot of that near the second half of this.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing Owen Wilson. He made me laugh every time. I think Owen Wilson just makes me laugh every time he opens his mouth, I think.
Totally.
is just what's great about him, I think. So just to see some good Owen Wilson content, I
Yeah.
would recommend at least watching the first 25 minutes of Loki.
And then stop after that.
And then we'll then keep going if you want, but that's where I think it kind of
You'll
runs
decide.
its main steam. It still was very good. It's still good afterwards.
Yeah.
Definitely that first 25 minutes when I was really taken aback. I was like, oh, this is funny. I'm laughing at this
Yeah, I think the best
with a smile on my face.
I think the perfect thing I think the thing that makes Owen Wilson perfect in this version of Loki literally is like he's in the same day as when he loses to the Avengers. So still like when we talk about taking yourself seriously in superhero movies, like this version of Loki takes himself very seriously. And like the real version of Loki, as we go on and see him in, the third Thor movie and Avengers and stuff, he's more of like a comedic relief type character. But, in the beginning when we meet Loki, he takes himself very seriously as a villain. So Owen Wilson's kind of I don't know how you want to describe it, but like his demeanor kind of perfectly counteracts that and makes for a good banter and stuff like that. And yeah, I liked the DB Cooper bit too.
Oh yeah, I think I texted that to you before. I
Yeah.
remember I was like, I like the DB Cooper bit.
Mhm.
Once again, this is a little maybe it might be too nitpicky on my part, but it's like the DB Cooper pick part
Mhm.
was really funny to me. But then right after, like Owen Wilson goes, "Oh, that's so cool! You were DB Cooper,"
Yeah.
and that's pretty awesome. And it's like,
Don't kill the
again,
joke.
don't explain it right after we saw
Yes.
it. Just watched him do it, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
That's
like when
and
audiences
like
are treated as, "We need to explain this to you."
right. It was like Marvel couldn't help itself from being like, hey, just so you know, that was DB Cooper. It's
Yeah.
funny, right? It's hilarious.
Mhm.
It's like a laugh track, but a
Right.
little bit worse. At
Right.
least the laugh track, like it gives you like the illusion that I'm watching some an audience. This is
Yeah.
just like having a guy next to the screen with like a pointer being like, this was that film, and this was in that film.
It's like a Mr. Sunday Movies, thumbnail where it's like the big red arrow, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, like the circle. It's like
Yeah.
how long before Disney starts adding that at the end of their own shows?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Like top things you just missed in this last episode.
Yeah, right? It's like sponsored by Disney, they explain every little detail to you.
Top 10 things you missed in WandaVision, sponsored by WandaVision.
Yeah. This was brought to you by Disney Plus's next, movie streaming, Jungle Cruise. Cruella 2.
This is brought to you by Cruella 2.
Yeah.
Top 10 things you missed in Cruella 1.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Cruella DeVille's name is a wacky play on Cruel a Devil.
yeah, yeah.
In case you guys didn't get that.
Um, did you like the Infinity Stones thing where there were like just Infinity Stones in a drawer and they were like, these things don't work in here?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Like, oh, that was nice. That's
Yeah,
like, okay, we're that to me felt like a conscious thing to be like, all right, that era of Marvel is done,
right.
over, getting out of it. You don't have to think about it anymore. Endgame is behind us.
Yeah. And
Those
now we're
guys,
going into the whole multiverse thing, and this show's kind of really introducing it. They say multiverse. Spider-Man 3 is going to be all multiverse stuff with, Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina. So, yeah, I think this is really where we're heading with the different timelines and multiverse and all this stuff. And I think it's a good direction to go after the Infinity Saga.
just anything that keeps it. If my ultimate opinion with MCU stuff, with Marvel stuff in general, is just like knowing that this is just, I guess, how movies are going to be forever. I like anything that just keeps it fresh, that
Right.
keeps me like, oh, that's new. Oh, these are some characters, or this is a dynamic I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Which I think that was kind of that seemed like more of a conscious thing to be like, yeah, the MacGuffins you've been searching for the last series, they're forget about them. They're useless. Don't have all this, which I like.
Yeah.
And I do like, once again, I like every time Marvel will like kind of thumb its nose at like um fan expectation, I
Yep.
guess.
Yep.
Liked how it kept Loki being a villain, and then they're a little meta, not like meta, but they're a bit self-referential at the end, where they go, "You're not a main character. You're
Yeah.
a tool
You were
used,
born to bring misery to others or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, to help them on their journeys."
Right, 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 right. To make that help the Avengers be better people. Yeah.
Yeah, which like that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like it's cool to explore, even though it doesn't really have a real world parallel.
Right.
Maybe his thing is like, oh, I'm my own person. I'm not just accessory to other people. Maybe that's going to be the point of the show.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. I thought, okay, there's something that we haven't seen before,
Yeah.
or haven't seen in these movies before.
Yeah, and one other thing, just finishing up. I saw on Twitter today the scene where Loki watches all these events that would have happened to him, but we already saw happen to the main Loki
Yeah,
with Thor Ragnarok and his death at the hands of Thanos.
Fen,
Um that was inspired by the scene in Toy Story, or is it Toy Story? Yeah, in Toy Story, the first Toy Story, when Buzz Lightyear realizes he's just a toy and he's like, "Oh, I have like less meaning than I thought I did."
I feel like that tweet was just made specifically to get like younger millennials like panic
Sure.
to realize that Toy Story is now a movie that other directors look to for inspiration.
Hey, I do gotta say though, as someone who is writing a script myself currently and trying to look for ideas, I like the whole referencing other movies thing. And there are
Yeah,
certainly movies that don't relate to the thing I'm writing or whatever that I would love to reference, like Toy Story. Like Toy Story's great.
as someone who's also, working on the screenplay as well,
Yeah.
can also say that, as has been stated before, if you, I forgot which Simpsons writer said it, but they say if you steal from black and white movie, it's called an homage. It's
Yep.
doing homework. And the older it is, the finer it is to steal from, which is why,
Yeah.
that's a lesson to our audience. Steal from the greats. If they
Exactly.
catch you, then you'll be rewarded.
Yes. I agree. Yeah, steal things. That's what we want you to take away from this.
This is okay.
Um all right. Do you want to talk about I actually didn't see the first one, but do you want to talk about the title for Aquaman 2 for like 60 seconds?
Well, Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom.
Yeah.
Is there something
S-
related to Atlantis, maybe?
I would think so. But don't we see Atlantis? Like isn't Atlantis?
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, he lives in Atlantis. That's the whole town. The whole
Yeah.
town.
Yeah, so I don't know who the villain's going to be. I think it's the same director, James Wan. Um
Yeah, director of the Conjuring series. We've got James
yeah, let
Wan.
me look up to see if any like cast is announced besides Willem Dafoe with scarily long hair.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's weird looking.
I
Um
remember during the first one, they tease like Aquaman's, main arch nemesis,
mhm.
Manta. It's got like a big manta ray helmet.
It says Randall Park's gonna be in it. Was he in the first one?
I do not recall. I don't think so.
Um, it looks like more of the same people. Um, so yeah, I don't. I guess no villain was announced yet or anything.
Maybe the villain is internally. The villain is the friends we lost along the way.
Right. Um. So yeah, Aquaman 2, it's happening. The Lost Kingdom. Hope you're all excited.
I didn't dislike the first Aquaman, actually.
Yeah, I have to watch it.
It was long, once again. It was kind of boring, but I
Hmm.
thought the action sequences were neat enough, even if it did kind of turn to like lengthy underwater battles, which I don't know why fighting underwater in movies never looks cool or cinematic.
Yeah.
Almost sometimes it does, but I'm thinking of like that Bond movie, Thunderball, where it's also they're all fighting underwater and it's cool for like 5 minutes, but it
Okay.
cannot sustain more than one scene. The novelty gets old really quick, I think.
Got it. Well, let's talk about more fighting underwater because there was an actor that was I don't know his name. I'll look it up. But Namor is pretty much it's heavily rumored to be the villain in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh,
Look up the actor's name. Um, that was rumored to be playing him.
Namor, the Submariner.
Yeah. Um, Tinoch Huerta. I don't know. I'm
I
probably not pronouncing
remember
that right.
the hero in other versions. I feel like
Okay.
I had recalled that he was a hero in these movies, but I might be mistaken.
So he is in Narcos, Mexico, and other things. Nothing else I really noticed. He's going to be in the new Purge movie. But yeah, I've never really heard of him. But looks like that's might be who they're casting as Namor. So that's cool that he's going to be the villain, I guess. Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. Are they going to bring back the same director to do that one? I
Yeah,
believe they
Ryan
are.
Coogler. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, he'll be back. I think everyone, like Letitia Wright, Denai Guerrera, no Michael B. Jordan. But
no Michael. He dies again in the first one.
yeah, sad. All right. So there's that. There's our comic book news for the day, which we so often cover. Um, there's only going to be two more Fast and Furious films. How do you feel about this?
I was never a huge Fast and Furious fan. I guess this is more
Oh,
your territory. This is more your territory,
uh-huh.
unfortunately. But I do mourn for these movies. I mourn because I see how much their fans like it. So
Hmm.
must be mourning.
I think out of anything, I am more surprised that they are ending the series rather than they are making two more movies. Like, I think they should end it at 10.
So, like I thought it was going to be like Star Wars. They're just going to keep making these.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that they're gonna end it. And I granted they could end it and then come back in another 10 years and be like the Fast 12, the family reunion or whatever. The Friends reunion.
Maybe it is better for them to end with dignity instead of just they make one really bad one and
Right, and they're forced to end.
yeah,
Yeah.
because then everyone will remember Fast and Furious as that dumb thing that went on too long.
Right, right. Yeah. I
And
mean, has it gone on too long?
some people might already consider it that. I
Some
wouldn't.
people. Yeah, I haven't seen Fast 9 yet, which I will be seeing in the theaters. So yeah. I personally am a little sad by this news. I think we need Hobbs and Shaw. We need 10 movies in that franchise. Um with more Idris Elba and
This is
yeah.
kind of going to be like a James Bond type thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
like how those movies just like kept going, and I guess they still are going for like,
But they'll do like ludicrous solo movie.
yeah, maybe they'll do that. Maybe it'll be like, maybe they just give Vin Diesel, who's he play? Hobbs.
Dom.
Who's he play? He's Don.
Dom Toretto, yeah.
Yeah, they'll just keep making Dom Toretto movies.
Yeah, Dom, the sequel.
Dom 2,
Dom 2, Dominated.
Dom 3, Dom has a mother,
Oh,
Dom Homie Dom.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see Fast 9, F9 as they're marketing it with the colored smoke. Um Loved the Fate of the Furious, liked Fast 7. Um Hobbs and Shaw liked. Not as familiar with the original ones, but
Not as familiar with the Fast and the Furious.
no. But
Furious.
but yeah, I'm just I don't know if this kind of made me I was pretty surprised when I saw this that they were ending it. I thought they were gonna like cross over with the Transformers and be the
Well,
Fast Formers.
you know,
What was that?
we can't rule that out. That they
We
might.
can't rule that out. No, you're right. Um, so yeah, it's a sad day for us Fast and Furious stands. But they'll live on forever. I think we have enough content from them. So yeah, I don't know.
Fast and Furious start becoming just Fast and Furious.
Yeah, they're more furious. I'm furious that the series is ending.
Oh,
How
oh,
about that? I'm not very fast though. I was never a good runner.
I remember back when they used to call it Fast and the Furious.
Oh right.
That was like the first. That was one of the early, like the 7N Fant Four Stick, the Fast
Right.
and Furious.
I like movie names like that though.
Yeah,
It's like at least you commit to it.
it's hard to. Only sometimes it happens.
Only sometimes it works.
I remember Madagascar 2, Escape to Africa. That was perfect.
Yes. Um well, let's talk about something that's getting should we call it to Ella or is that too
Cruella de Vil.
yeah.
Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a Cruella de Vil too. I guess starring Emma Stone. I didn't see I didn't the first one. I didn't see the Cruella movie that just came out. Um,
I feel like I should, but also
I kind of want to. Here's my thing. I don't want to pay $30 to watch it on Disney Plus. The
they
alternative is going
don't
to the
know
theater.
in the theaters.
I only see movies I really really want to see in the theaters, to be quite honest. I'm going to see In the Heights tonight because I've been anticipating that for a while, obviously since last year where I guess it was supposed to release. But yeah, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna see this until it like comes out on some streaming service for free. Has Disney Plus released the movies that they've been charging $30? I guess they're always on there to pay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I haven't searched. I can't remember the last time I was like, oh, let me go watch Mulan. I don't think I
Yeah,
ever watched it, so I don't really know.
I'll look because I wonder if there's a period that you buy it for, like when it's in theaters. But then I feel like no one would really buy it, so it's probably like permanently on Disney Plus to buy only, which makes sense. I mean, it's just
In a year, you can.
I'm just like disinterested. I'm gonna be seeing movies in theaters now anyway. I'm not gonna pay for like Black Widow because I'll see that in theaters. So yeah, let me check Mulan.
Mulan is now available to watch right now.
Okay, so I guess it was after a certain amount of time. I mean, that's been out for a while, I feel like.
So it's been out for like I think a year now.
Let me
I
check
think it's
like
been a full.
Raya and the Last Dragon. That's available to watch for free too.
I think that one went straight to free, didn't it?
No, wasn't that let me
I
check
don't
out when
know.
that released. Um because if it's not long, after it released. So this released in March, so it was a couple months. So maybe I'll watch Cruella in like a couple months.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not entirely disinterested in seeing it. It's more
yeah.
$30 to watch Cruella.
Hmm.
I wouldn't buy the Blu-ray. I imagine will not be $30, and
Yeah.
then that's owning forever in your hands.
Once
I
you
can't
buy
see.
it, do you own it forever? Well, I guess. Like,
I don't think it downloads like to your device though. I think you just have access.
yeah. But is there a certain time period you have access to?
I guess until they take it off the app, which
Okay.
uh, I don't think they would though. It's Disney Plus. And it's a Disney movie
Fair.
based on
Yeah.
Disney movie.
So, yeah,
You know,
I guess Cruella did well enough. I don't know how well it did to I mean, since they had it ready, I think they wanted to do one anyway though.
yeah.
I don't blame them when you have someone like Emma Stone doing a movie already for you. You probably want to have her for as long as you can cuz she's a big star.
My issue is the same as the Joker 2. Is
Ah.
2 is just 101 Dalmatians. We know that movie. I mean, I don't know where how the Cruella ends. I
Yeah.
assume it ends with like, I'm assuming, prove me wrong, but I'm pretty sure it probably ends with some like wink wink nudge nudge. She's oh, maybe I'm gonna make a coat of dogs, or maybe
Hmm.
like what's his name? Like Roger and I'm gonna say Anna.
I'm
I don't
not
know, the
sure.
couple from the first movie. Maybe they like move in. I'm like, oh, we're playing songs. I don't know, but I guarantee that movie ends with a reference to like just the main 101 Dalmatians movies.
Yeah.
So I don't. Cruella 2 is either just the transitionary stage. It's just going to be like how it's going to be her being like, hey, this is how you make coats out of dogs, like graphically detailing it. And then
Yeah.
the movie ends with her leaving the house being like, oh, I can't wait to get those dogs. And then we see 101 Dalmatians and we learn she doesn't get them.
Yeah. Well, they made a Maleficent too, right?
I didn't, they did. You're right.
I've never seen either of those, but I'm just saying maybe this is a thing Disney's doing now. Maybe we'll see. I don't know what other female villains are there.
Ursula.
Ursula, yeah, maybe. Well, they are making a live action Little Mermaid, and Melissa McCarthy is Ursula.
Is that real?
I'm serious. Yeah, did you not hear about the live action Little Mermaid?
You just say that to make me upset.
Yeah, they're making a live action Little Mermaid. I'll tell
No,
you the cast.
Melissa McCarthy is Ursula.
Yeah.
I mean, fine. I don't care. It's a movie for 5-year-olds.
They offered the role of Prince Eric to Harry Styles, but he turned it down.
Yeah.
We have David Diggs as Sebastian. We have Halle Bailey. She and her sister make music. They're Chloe and Halle. Um, she's Ariel.
This movie was
Um,
cast like 5 years ago.
yeah, I feel like it was a while ago.
Yeah, that's when
Um,
I first started hearing about it.
I don't know who's Flounder. Um,
Sure, it's just some dumb kid. I don't know.
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem is Flounder? What?
No, Javier Bardem is King Triton, I believe. Um,
I would
David
really
Diggs
love
Sebastian.
Flounder like holding a gun and he's like,
Yeah.
how do you think, friendo? What are those thingamabobs?
Jacob Tremblay is Flounder.
Oh, that's a TikTok guy, right?
He's he's like he's a very young actor. He's like I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 13 or something. But he's in the movie Wonder. Um
Oh, I remember I had to read the book for that in
yeah,
school.
I've read that book too. I like the movie. Owen Wilson's in it. He's the dad.
Owen Wilson is the dad in that?
Yeah, and I think it's Jennifer Garner is the mom.
Huh.
Yeah, Jacob Tremblay, he is 14. So,
Really funny that Javier Bardem is King Triton, though.
yeah, yeah, Owen Wilson
Really
is
like
Mr. Pullman. Julia Roberts is the
angry
mom.
deadpan. Who? Julia Roberts is
I get Julia Roberts and Jennifer Garner mixed up every day.
ah
Is that weird?
a little.
Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of
You
similar to
probably
me.
like Pretty Women. Pretty Woman.
Yeah, but like the J name, and they're like the same age, and I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, that makes
They
sense.
kind of look similar.
Who did she voice? Julia Roberts?
No, she's in the Wonder movie. That's what I was.
Oh, is she the mom and then the
Yes, Owen Wilson's the dad. Yeah, I
that,
love, and
that
Daveed Diggs is in that one too.
it makes sense that those two are the same age, but I just associate Julia Roberts with slightly older just because of the movies that she's known for, I feel like.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Really funny if Javier Bardem was just like a murderous, cold Triton.
Hmm.
He's like, Ariel goes like, "Oh, I want to go above," and he just goes like, "I wouldn't,"
Yeah.
and leaves silently without saying another word.
Yeah, Javier Bardem is Flounder in the Cruella sequel. That's basically what I got out of that, right?
Yes, Javier Bardem plays Flounder, who Cruella de Vil makes into a small purse.
Right. And he
And
still talks when he's the purse, and he's like, "Why'd you do this to me?"
why you do this to me?
Yeah.
I do not want this. I will spit out your change.
Yeah. Another musical movie that we saw the trailer for. You just watched it before we started. I watched it last night. Tick Tick Boom. This is one when it was first announced, I was very excited for, because when Manuel Miranda was making his directorial debut, obviously I like anything when Manuel Miranda does. Um and Then Andrew Garfield was announced in the cast, Vanessa Hudgens. There's one actress who's in the X-Men movies that's in this too. And she's in Love, Simon. I don't know what her name is, but I liked her in everything I saw. She played like a young Storm. Alexandra Shipp. Um, Jordan Fisher is going to be in this too, apparently.
Yeah, I liked the trailer for it because it didn't look lame like how
Mhm.
most musicals look lame. It looked like a genuine movie.
Yeah.
And I say that musical theater major, of course, but it didn't look like when you look at a trailer, even In the Heights, which I hear is a good film, you look at the trailer for that and you're like, okay, this is a musical. And you look at really most musicals and they look like musicals. They don't look like real movies.
Yeah.
Or they look just like from the start watching the movie, you can tell that this doesn't take place in the real world. It takes place in like a fancified, like fantasy world.
Hmm.
And which works fine for some musicals, but sometimes it's just really tiresome. And as we
Yeah.
discussed in movies like Dear Evan Hansen, it makes it look like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
But I really thought this was going to look like Last 5 Years, which it looks like made
Okay.
TV, but it doesn't. This looks, even though it's direct to Netflix, it looks cinematic in a way that a lot of other musicals aren't.
Yeah.
And it's Manuel Miranda, he's directing, so he's not writing or acting, so we know it's not going to be a show all about how cool and funny Lin-Manuel Miranda is.
Hmm.
It'll be about how cool and funny this other guy who is like Lin-Manuel Miranda is.
Yeah.
Also wrote and directed a show and won a Pulitzer for it.
Yeah, this is kind of the story. I wasn't too familiar with the plot of Tick Tick Boom. I knew some of the songs, but it's like Jonathan Larson's story.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Larson's like, I guess in this one they're going to expand it a bit more to be more just about Jonathan Larson's life,
Sure.
what I imagine.
That'd be
But
great.
yeah, I would really like. I would actually really appreciate that.
Yeah, Rent, one of
Oh,
my favorite musicals of all time.
yeah, you big Rent fan.
Big Rent fan.
Me,
Not
I
so much the
appreciate
movie.
the musical. I think the movie's kind of. Have you
Yeah,
seen? The movie?
I've seen bits and pieces.
It's just kind of like, who cares at this point?
Yeah, it's like I don't really care about
It's
this if it's not happening right in front of me.
yeah, it's in a movie and it's 11 years later. It's like there's no whatever magic was on that stage is gone. It's dead and buried by this point.
Yeah,
First of all, Andrew Garfield, good in everything.
yeah. Sounds great too, singing.
Yeah, he's singing. He was fine. It was
Yep.
good. It wasn't even fine. It was good.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. Vanessa Hudgens, I think I might have already mentioned, is going to be in this.
She's in the Heights, I think, right?
What was that?
She's in the Heights, I believe, right?
She was in the stage version and when they
Right.
did it in DC.
The center.
Yeah. I think Anthony Ramos might have played the lead in that though, which is he's playing it in the movie, obviously. Um, Maybe that was his audition for the movie.
Maybe. I hesitate to ask if this is Anthony Ramsey's film debut. I wonder if it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him in anything. I'll look up his like IMDb. The funny part about that is when Manuel Miranda probably was like casting the In the Heights movie when he saw it in the Heights in DC and was like, "Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens was good, but I won't cast her in the Heights. She can be in my other movie I'm gonna do."
There's a lot of people who I saw in the cast of that movie. I was like, these aren't like movie actors. These are like Broadway actors.
So
Which was,
okay, so Anthony Ramos was in A Star Is Born.
oh, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either. I've heard it's good though. My mom likes it.
Yeah, doesn't seem like a bad movie.
Did Bradley Cooper directed that, right?
Bradley Cooper did direct it. Yeah, I believe so.
Bradley Cooper, kind of from around me in Pennsylvania. How about that? A little tidbit for you. Yeah, Eagles fan, Philly sports fan. Gotta love Brad. So Evan is
I
frozen
will
right
always
now.
support.
Oh, he's back. You were frozen for a minute.
I know your phrase came in little bits,
Oh, okay.
but I am pro Bradley Cooper,
You're pro Bradley Cooper, all right? I
and
think we're a pro Bradley Cooper podcast then.
I mean his role as that Beatles song in Guardians of the Galaxy
Mm-hmm.
will always win my acclaim.
Mm-hmm. Rocket Man.
Yeah, his role as Rocky Raccoon into the room,
Mm-hmm.
but he only found Gideon's Bible.
Yeah.
His name was McGill, called himself Lil. I forgot how the rest of it goes. Something
Yeah.
something rival.
Okay.
That
Um. All right. One quick thing before we do our reviews. Madeline Klein has been cast in Knives Out too. Now, if you don't know who you are, Evan, I know you're a massive fan of Outer Banks on Netflix.
yeah, man. I
Yeah,
love
she's one of the stars of that show. So I know this has got you really excited.
I love Outer Banks. It's my favorite film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm glad because this should make you even more excited to see your favorite Marvel villain, Catherine Hahn, and Madeline Klein in Knives Out too.
Madeline Klein.
Hmm.
Now, I'm a big, of course, super fan of Outer Banks.
Right. Right.
But if any, other super fans want to just test the non-super fans, then please inform me on the plot and characters of Outer Banks, just so we can make sure together that
Sure. You're
that
getting it.
we're both big fans.
Right. Right. Yeah. You just have to be on the same page. I get it.
This is seemingly we're keeping up the theme of all-star cast in this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're pro Outer Banks podcast.
Do we know if the Nazi kid from the first movie was in anything?
If who? Jaden Martell?
Oh, is that his name?
The kid, the one who in Knives Out 1 was like on his phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll be back. I would
I
love if he
remember they
cameoed.
called him the Nazi boy. That's what
Yeah,
I.
something like that. Want to do our reviews?
Oh, he was in It. Oh, he played
Yeah.
in It. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's skip to our favorite part of our classic part.
Our Outer Banks coverage.
Yes. So, see episode 1 of Outer Banks. We find the outermost bank. Pretty pretty much of a letdown. I don't
Yeah, I
see
know.
in this.
Hmm. Yeah, and then they start robbing the banks in season 2, I hear.
Yeah, and I think they break the banks as well.
Really?
Yeah,
And then it becomes the spin-off Inner Banks, which is even
fall
more.
into the bank and they get their clothes all wet.
Yeah. And that's like starring that one's starring Daniel Craig.
In his character as Aquaman.
It's such a disturbing looking image, Willem Dafoe and Aquaman. It's
Yeah,
like
that's a way more disturbing picture than like half the stuff that Willem Dafoe does in The Lighthouse.
you're not that's not Willem Dafoe.
It's like he's falling apart.
I'm looking at it right now.
This is the most disturbing Willem Dafoe movie.
It's just odd looking. It really is.
So I've got 3 reviews.
All right, you can start.
So for In the Heights, Quentin James gives this 1/2 star and says, "I hate this movie more than I hate Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran fans, you might love In the Heights." Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, I like Ed Sheeran. Do you?
Yes.
Yeah, he makes some good songs. I don't get how you could hate Ed Sheeran. That's my thing. Like, he seems like a pretty likable guy. He's ginger, so he needs friends.
So off screen, Declan has sent me a picture of Willem Dafoe
Yes.
as Waterman.
For our audio listeners, yeah.
He does look. So if you can all see, he does look a little more ghoulish than normal.
He looks a little, like he's been underwater for a couple of years.
A bit goblin-esque, if you will.
My first review is for Friends semicolon the reunion. And this one is 2-star review from Owen Morowitz, who says, "What an aggressively hauntological enterprise. They all look like imposters wearing their own skin. Truly terrifying."
Now you are Friends super fan.
Right. Yeah, I love the Matts and the Joeys and yeah.
Do you know any of the cast members to be skinwalkers?
You just have to watch the reunion for yourself.
Darn. Why are you doing this to me?
I'm sorry.
So the second review, my second review, comes from In the Heights as well, from Luke, who gives it 1/2 star, who says, "I haven't watched this, but I hate musicals." Which, let it be known, is a good opinion.
Yes.
It's not.
Never start liking musicals, I think, is the takeaway from that.
Yeah, I think when you first start, tapping your foot along to.
It's like you're too far gone already.
Yeah. In every musical, it begins by one person tapping their foot. Once you started tapping your foot, it's over.
Yeah, I agree. I have another review, and this is also from In the Heights, and this is 2 stars from Viking, who has a Danny Phantom profile picture. So shout out to you, Viking. And this says, "Too much music." And I'll be seeing In the Heights later today, so I'll report back on this next week. But I think it's a possibility that that's true.
Hey, as the characters in the Heights say, you have to have paciencia and fade done away.
Okay.
Paciencia.
Yeah,
Paciencia.
we'll go with that.
It's fine. It's all right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's spelled out. It's like paciencia. So I think.
Okay.
You're the In the Heights fan.
I've listened to the musical, but I've never watched it. So I'm not very familiar with the plot. So I'm excited to see it because I don't really know what happens, to be honest.
I watched a community theater production of it because a friend of mine.
Okay.
It was pretty neat. It's a pretty neat show. This last review for In the Heights, this one actually gives it 1.5 stars.
Okay.
Orange Splurt, who says, "Looks like an aspirin commercial." And I really relate to that because the last musical that has been discussed on our website,
Yeah.
Dear Evan Hansen, I mentioned looking like a Hallmark film.
Uh-huh.
And previously we discussed Sia's music, which we hadn't seen, but I had described from the trailers as looking like a Target commercial.
Yeah.
So I think this might just be the way musicals look now.
Okay. It's all right. It happens. Um okay. I have a one last review. This is for Loki. The show. Loki the musical, starring Owen Wilson, and it's a 1-star review from Sponge. And this is I do not care, 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 I do not care. And it goes on for about, as you can see here, Evan, a little while. Um so my thing with this is you clearly care enough to
Sure, I know.
show how much you don't care. So you care a little bit, right?
That's always the undoing when you express how much you don't care. And I have to disagree there. Sometimes I really don't care. And sometimes it like my not caring of it is being challenged. And
Mhm.
that's have to use all my caring into the effort of proclaiming I don't
Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, if you I think deep down there's a little ounce of caring.
care. Definitely.
Something brought you to write that review.
But what it is I choose not to care. That's more correct.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it for episode 22. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you like the Cruella sequel breakdown.
I like this Joker ball that
Yeah, this is the Joker ball if you're watching on video. Um this is a prop from the set of Joker 2 that I got mailed to me cuz I pre-ordered it.
which Joker gets Joker fever. And
Yeah,
Joker
so
fever,
Joaquin Phoenix has actually thrown this ball before.
right.
Yeah,
It
if
ends
you're
in a disco number in which, the Joker touches something and then he turns all Joker colors.
right.
And continues on in a kind of animated way until we see an animated Joker doing Saturday Night Fever dances by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're just listening on audio, make sure you check this out. It's a pretty cool prop from the set. Um, it's game used. So yeah. Um,
Broken.
thanks thanks people for listening. And we'll see you next Friday.